Hey everybody, uh, happy Good Friday. I didn't get to go to church today. My wife went, but man, I need some sleep, man. Um, I did too much this week, but anyway, I'll be going Sunday. Uh, good Lord, gonna see me in church on Sunday. No, the lightning's not gonna crack in man, and the damn church ain't gonna fall down. I'm just gonna walk in there, and then I'm gonna hear when I'm walking the door. About damn time you got here. Yeah, it's been a while, but I don't talk to the Lord as much as I should, but I talk to Him every day, and people say, well, that's not really. Well, I tend to think that, where you got two or more people, you got a church. People say, well, your dog don't count. I said, no, well, he don't, but you know what? Lord was there, so we got a conversation. That's my religion, and I'm stuck to it. We'll go off on another video on religion if you want to, but anyway, here's what we're going to do today: is we're going to talk about this gun control fact, because the fact is that I've been sitting on the fence long enough, and come to form is I'm not going to be politically correct today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get off the fence and show you exactly and explain to you exactly how I feel about weapons. Now, keep in mind, this comes from an actual person who grew up around guns. I had a 410 shotgun when I was, what, 12, 10, 11, 12, I don't remember. But anyway, I had this bolt action, and I had to carry my, when I went out with my dad to go shooting, I'd have to carry my one shell in my hand. And then when I saw a squirrel, I could load it and then I could shoot. You can imagine how many squirrels I actually shot because it took me too long to reload. But hell, I got better at reloading. So anyway, and then this opinion comes from a veteran who's actually carried a lot. I carried two weapons all of his damn life: 9 millimeter R45, and also an M4. And since I was a sergeant, I got a 203 on mine. So I can blow shit up, shoot you, or I could freaking whatever I can do. Yeah. So I've seen the good and the bad of guns. So now we're going to this David Hogg guy, and I have to comment because the fact is that he just went above being stupid. Here's the reason why, or I believe. Mr. David Hogg gets up there and says, we want to end the Second Amendment. We're going to ban everybody from having guns. We're going to confiscate your weapons. Okay, let's think about that for a second. First of all, we have weapons because the fact is that we have a right to defend ourselves. Now, if you come, Mr. Hogg, and you're part of this bill, what if you're also financially responsible? Because if my wife and I go out to the store or to the movies or someplace out in the public, or even sitting at home, and somebody breaks through my door, or somebody actually wants to do a shooting, and I ain't got the method to protect myself, you better hope that they kill both me and my wife, because a lawsuit on this damn government is going to be outstanding, and it'll stand. It'll pass. This lawsuit will make you rethink the Second Amendment. Where do you draw the line, Mr. Hall? Please tell me where you draw the line on. You want AR-15s? Okay, we'll give you AR-15s. But do you think for a second, when you take away an AR-15 from one individual, that you ain't got five people out there that have got the same damn weapon that are illegal, who got them illegal, got them off the black market? And guess what, Mr. Hogg? They made them automatic weapons. Automatic weapons are already banned. Can't have an automatic in the United States. I don't know what you talk about when you talk about automatic weapons. It's semi-automatic. Means you can only you shoot one round at a time. But then again, you wouldn't know that because you don't even know nothing about guns. Most of the individuals who are actually proponent for 2As, they've never been around a gun, because the fact is, the guns just scare them because they don't know anything about it. Mr. Hall, who claims to have been there at the Parkland shooting, he was 3 miles away at his house, had to ride his bicycle with a camera. How does he know what he's talking about? Tell me if he knows what actually was going through these minds of these individuals who got killed inside this schoolhouse. Ask them if they wish they had a gun. Ask their parents today if their student or daughter, would you think maybe they thought about having a gun? And while we're at it, Mr. Hogg, let's get on the situation, because the individuals who are authorized to have a gun, they didn't do shit about it. They stood outside while people got killed. So maybe we're down to the point is that if you have a gun, what capacity are you willing to use? It does no good for an officer to have a weapon strapped onto his freaking side. It can't shoot it. We hear yesterday, we hear today, it came out today, I got the video today, it came out yesterday, for those like to split hairs, but anyway, Stephon Clark was shot 8 times in the back. I'm sorry, 7 times in the back. There's one shot that actually went through his side. This would be consistent with the way he turned. When he turned, there was one in the side. But the kid was shot 7 times. Only one of these shots, it was determined in the autopsy, was necessary to kill him. Mr. Clark was dead before he hit the ground. Now let's look at this perspective about who we authorized to carry these weapons. Well, our police officers, they shot 20 times and they only hit the guy 8 times. Yeah, dang. You mean tell me you got 20 shots and you put it down range and you can't hit nothing but 8 times? Yeah, they went to the range a lot. They've been training a lot. But see, they are authorized to have the weapons. So in other words, Mr. Hogg and some of the individuals who agree with Mr. Hogg, okay, so now we're going to take away the weapons from us, and guess what? Cops can do whatever they want to do. They can shoot anybody they want to. I beg for you to differ. The fact is, if you have a weapon and you identify it to a police officer, they understand that they're on a different level. Because the fact is that they know and they can assume that you know a portion about the law and about weapons. They've considered you well educated on the laws. Especially when they look at 40.06, which is actually the statement in Texas where you can actually own a weapon. So I failed to understand by 2 individuals. One individual had on a jacket, actually had the Cuba flag on it, and saying, you know what, well, this doesn't stand for communism, this stands for the people. Didn't we here in America just ban a flag that we said didn't stand for racism, but it stood for the people and what they believed in? But we can't do that here, but you can wear a Cuban flag. Are we starting to see the stupidity of this shit now? So let me go ahead and introduce you, and then we'll see what you think. But I'm going to show you my 2 weapons. Well, I have 3, but one is by my bed. It never leaves my bedside because the fact is that it's got a level punch to it. And anyway, I don't go for them for days. But anyway, here's my 2 weapons my favorite weapons that I actually carry. This one here. This is where it is. I know. Look at this one. This is an antique curiosity. This is an 18. This is an actual replica of the 18 of Clint Eastwood's and all of his movies. This is what he shot. Thought that was pretty cool. I got a holster for it and everything. This is an antique curiosity. I go to reenactments. I use this thing during reenactments. I go out to the range. I go and shoot it. I actually love cleaning it. I like actually taking it apart and actually making it better. But anyway, so I carry this. Now, everybody's going to look at this and say, damn, that's a big ass weapon. Why do you need that shit? Whatever. Well, because the fact is because it's a replica of what they used to carry. And the second thing is that it's freaking legal. It doesn't matter what the law says. It doesn't say what there. It's legal. You can carry this weapon anywhere you want to carry this, and it's not even considered a weapon. It's not even considered a firearm. It's not considered anything except for an antique curiosity revolver. It's black powder. How does that come to play? Well, because the fact is, let's look at this a little bit. With this jewel right here, I can make my own powder. I can make my own balls. I can be so totally self-sufficient with this weapon right here to be able to protect myself and loved ones. Right here. God damn, yeah. That way for a reason. If you pull your little 9mm off on me, I'm gonna pull out this bad boy right here. It's gonna be like that. That's the last word you're gonna hear. So the last words you're going to hear is this right here. Because when I shoot you one time with this son, but I don't have to shoot you 8 times to make sure you're dead. One time you're going down. That's all I need. I got 5 other. I got 5 of them. I got 5 other charges in there. Guess what? I only need one. The rest just extra. Bring your friends. But one of the first weapons that I actually bought, and these are black powder. Like I said, and everybody's gonna say, well, black powder, you know, you got to reload it and everything like that. Well, let me show you what this actually comes to do. You know what? I got a cylinder in here. I'll load that up before I put it in. I don't have it loaded right now because I'm making a demonstration. But anyway, what I'll do is then I'll load Jim and Jerry. I got over here Jack. Well, I guess you'd call him Jim, Jack, and Hank. Hank Reed Jr., Jack Daniels, and Jim Beam. Anyway, I got 3 of these. So I can load these up, put them in my belt. Next thing you know, goddamn, how many more rounds do you got? And it really doesn't take any big difference. This is my little first one I got. Now, you'll notice there's some difference. You notice I tried to make some carvings here on the. That didn't turn out really good. I'm trying to be one of those old timers, whatever. And then the next thing is that this used to be a big long Navy coat, but I blew the barrel up or I put too much charge in it when I just first learning, so blew it up. So I came back and I cut it off, and then I just put me a little eyesight there on it. A little eyesight there on it, and it worked. What do I use this for now? Well, what I do with this one is the fact is that, hey, I can actually make this adapt this to actually work. It's like a shotgun. I put the powder in there, I put me some shots, some BBs, and then I put me a patch over the top of it, and guess what? Squirrel gun. Or I can pepper your ass, whichever one. You ought to see what it does to a snake whenever you shoot that. But the case, I wanted to show you these because of that, and I do have one more. It's by my carried everywhere I go. It's right by my bed right now. That's where I know where it's at. So I pretty much always got it all around me. So anyway, let's just say, for example, you want to take away the AR-15. You want to take away the Second Amendment. But see, these right here I purchased, I don't need to have a concealed carry license. I can pick these up off the shelf at Cabela, go pay for them without any kind of checks or whatever, and walk out with it. So we ban these two. There are a number of ways that people can actually modify weapons. So what are you going to do? You ban all guns, but guess what? This is so cliche that I can't even say it, but it's damn true. It's damn true. You ban all guns, the only one people are going to have them is going to be the damn criminal. I'm reminded of North Hollywood shootout. I don't know if anybody of you remember this, but look it up on your freaking YouTube or look on Google it and look at the freaking videos. These 2 individuals went in to rob the Bank of America, came out fully in body armor, even had their freaking all the way down to their ankles, shooting freaking AKs that they had modified. Now these AKs, yeah, there was also some other shit. I don't know what else they had, but anyway, they had a whole passive full of shit. And they were shooting the shit out of the cops who had 9mm. The guys weren't out, man. They were outgunned. They were shooting these on bitches in their heads. Didn't hit them. They didn't go down. Didn't take them long to figure out, God dang, we need some more firepower. So they went down to the local gun store and they actually got some AR-15s, some automatic weapons, or semi-automatic weapons, and came back. The only thing that actually got to him was the fact is that the first guy went down because of a headshot with a damn automatic weapon. AR-15. The next guy went down because the fact is he got in the wreck and he came out and he was wounded somewhere. And guess where they wounded him at? They shot him in the ankle. That kind of precision at over 150 yards comes from a AR type 15. And while we're on the subject, AR-15 means that, you know what, every damn weapon that we have in the arsenal now, it's a long gun, is considered automatic. or semi-automatic. So you're making a statement you're going to take guns. Okay, great. Let's talk about that. Where do we draw the line? Because I just showed you an example. I can take a weapon that's perfectly legal and I can use it to defend myself. Are you going to change every damn law? Because if you do, you're going to have to determine which weapons are allowed and which weapons are not allowed. And please tell me, Mr. Hong, that you know something about weapons so you can actually be in the conversation to actually talk about what type of weapons these are. Because I want somebody that knows weapons, knows the capability of these weapons on the decision-making committee. I want somebody to be there to actually recognize bullshit when they hear it. This weapon here is only going to shoot 6 rounds. That's all it's going to shoot. As I've told you, I've got different cylinders, but anyway, 6 rounds. That's it. Where I come from, that's all we need. As I stated, Stephon Clark was shot 7 times in the back. Son of a bitch was dead before he even hit the ground. And all he had was a cell phone. So I wonder where this conversation is going to end because, like I said before, if my wife and I get shot in a damn restaurant or somewhere we're out outside my house or whatever, and I don't have the right to defend myself, then that's on you. That's on the government because you took that right away. It is a basic right that every man, woman, child, or whatever has some way of defending himself. Just as those individuals inside that school had a plan to be able to defend themselves against this mass shooting. However, the plan failed whenever those cops decided not to go in. I do not see them going down to City Hall. I do not see them making changes to standard operating procedure. I do not see these cops being accountable for their failure and their frickin' just cowardice. I do not see that. If you want to make effective change, people, you got to start at the bottom. Who actually is at fault? How many lives could have been saved if those sheriffs would have went in? I don't know. I'd like to know though. How many more lives can be saved if this freaking Chief Israel would just resign and say, we screwed up, y'all need to come in and fix this shit and make up another thing of rules of engagement. This goes into the issue is this. Is that what is happening today to our police force and to everyone is the fact is that our apathetic attitude toward weapons has caught up with us. We give these officers the least amount of possible, the least amount of training, the least amount of weaponry that we can afford by our city budget. We don't give them rounds to go down and practice at the range. The point is you shot 20 freaking times and hit the guy 8 times. That's not too good, guys. You wouldn't qualify for the Marine Corps. You wouldn't qualify with the Army for that. I don't know about the other services, but those two, uh, so if we're going to have a discussion about guns, let's have a discussion about the entire issue of guns. Because let's make it understood that once you decide that you're going to take weapons away from somebody, then what you've done is if you've taken away a right to defend themselves. Our school children don't have, or they shouldn't have, weapons in schoolhouse to defend themselves. We left that up to the law enforcement agencies to do, to come up with a plan where they can protect the students. They failed to do so. It's not the government's fault that these individuals did not want to act. It's not the government's fault these some bitches didn't go to the range. It's not anybody's fault that they weren't prepared for this type of scenario, except for the sheriff, the chief, the head man in charge. It's his responsibility. But we forget that. I go by the statement of this: I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. When I carry these around, people know that I'm not the weakest one in the league. People know me and my family, my dogs, we're all taken care of. And not only that, if you're out there doing something wrong, then guess what? I won't stand in between you, and guess what? You're going to lose track of what you were there for and start defending your ass. But we can't allow individuals to think like that. Removing the Second Amendment would basically do one thing. It will weaken people. It will weaken people's ability to take care of themselves. If you think the mass shootings are bad now, think about if you take away from all guns. Take away all guns. I challenge you to think that anybody can get a gun without a check. We got things in place, but they're not working. Why? Because the fact of the matter is that you know if this somebody has a gun, he's crazy in her Betsy bug, why didn't you freaking tell somebody? But you want to blame guns. I don't care what your decision. That's your basic decision. You decide to carry, you decide not to carry. That's up to you. If you're dead set against guns and you don't like guns, you don't like them in your vicinity, and you don't like people who carry guns, then get away from them. Leave it alone. Don't run my business. Don't. That's none of your business. If I want to carry a weapon in because I don't feel safe going into a certain area and it's perfectly legal, then I'm going to do so. Because I put more value in my life. And because the fact is I ain't going out like that. A lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people think, and we can only possibly imagine what these kids went through. I still keep going over this mind, this little girl that was shot 5 times. I'm asking myself, and please ask yourself this question. When you see people getting shot up around you, would you think for a split second, I wish I had a gun? Would you think, I wish I had a way to defend myself? And looking down the barrel of a gun, you ain't got nothing. Imagine that, what that feels like. These are what these kids went through. And they didn't have to go through it. Because other people fail to do their job. People with guns fail to do their job. Why? Well, because the fact is that, you know what? I guarantee you, these officers didn't want to get in the fray. It was none of their business. We're going to stay outside until he stops shooting. He's bound to run out of ammo somewhere. Let's put the blame where it belongs. If you, as a school district, or if you truly believe that kids should not be warned when they go into school, which I totally believe, then you better have somebody who's ready to react whenever somebody else does come in there with a gun. It didn't happen. It ain't the government's fault. It's not the government's fault to run your damn regulations. Separation, okay? Government handles government shit, and state didn't stand shit. We assume as American people that you know what the hell you're doing. But the notion of now, of it ever coming up, of it saying, you saying it never can happen here, or it won't happen here, or we can do this, this, and this, and this to prevent it from happening here is gone. The reason why I say that is because the fact that you take away the guns, who's going to take away the bombs? How far does it go? How far are you willing to go? Does all society stop using butter knives? Well, they're not really going to hurt. Bullshit. They can be made into a shank. Everything that you see around you is a potential weapon. Trust me, there's people that actually made them made weapons out of a lot of shit. So when do we come back down to reality and we say we need a method of protecting ourselves, but we also need to be able to have it. We also need to have a policy on how to protect people. Why weren't they prepared for a mass shooting? Why weren't they trained on what to do? Where in training is you ride up on a damn golf cart to a damn mass shooting? Well, see, we'll never know. All that right there is above our pay grade because we'll never know because the fact is that they're going to cover all this shit up. Pulse nightclub lady, she just got off today because she didn't conspire. Well, there goes one right there. If she's married to a guy, she knows he's got freaking weapons in the house, and she knows he's prepared for something, then she's guilty too for not saying nothing. But apparently, the people don't think that way. She didn't actually pull the trigger. Okay. So guess what? I just say, hey, you know what? Go down there and kill that son of a bitch. I ain't responsible. I didn't pull the trigger, but I told you to go do it. I'm gonna pay you some money. Go do it. And that's our priorities. And we need an object. We need something to go down to actually make us ourselves feel better. Oh, we stopped it. I'm gonna take away the gun. Okay. Take away the Second Amendment. Which other amendment do we take away next? The First Amendment? Because we say something people don't like. The Fourth Amendment. People can just come and go out of our house when they want to. How many amendments do we just allow just to go away and still believe that we still have the amount of freedoms that we have today? These Second Amendment was made for one thing and one thing only. As a fact of the matter is, it's protect against tyranny, against somebody who's going to actually come together and do something against you. God forbid our own government. Imagine, if you will, they take away all the guns, and next thing you know, it's martial law, and you ain't got no weapon, you ain't got nothing to fight back, and they're just coming in and taking random people, shooting them in the streets because you can't fight back. Case in point was the ghettos in Nazi Germany. They didn't have nothing to fight back with, but they found some shit. They had a couple of riots until they come in and squash shit out of that, but at least they tried. You have to have something of equal value or equal capacity to tell these zombies that you just can't run over me. If you're right, you know you're right, then guess what? And I think I know I'm right, then guess what? We're in a dilemma. Because you're not going to shoot me for no damn reason at all. I'm not going to allow it. I don't want to have somebody say, well, he just sit there and got shot. I don't want to get shot 8 times in the back because the officer refused to do any running because he didn't do his job. You want me to give him weapons? I don't have weapons. I got curiosity. Antiques. You want to start taking away muskets too? How about them rubber band shooting guns? You want to take away them too? They might poke you now and put your eye out. How far are you ready to go with this, Mr. Hogg? Or maybe why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you go down to the range and you can see how effective a weapon is on a target. Then just imagine with me, if you will, what if one person in that damn group would have actually responded and actually had, or if the cops would have went in and actually shot back, how many people would be alive today? I can't guarantee you all of them, but it would be less than 17. Not only to mention the fact that the damn cops would be inside the building. As soon as the son bitch went down, they would be able to provide what? Oh, what is that? First aid. It's amazing what an attorney can do when somebody's bleeding out. It just buys you 15 to 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes if you do it right. That didn't happen. We blame guns. I don't care how you personally feel about guns. I don't care how you, if you carried one, if you haven't carried one. But please be honest with yourself. If a weapon is pointed at your head, and you do as you're told, and you kneel down, it's still pointed at your head, and at some point in time, you realize this somebody's going to shoot me in the head. Wouldn't you think? At some point in time, I wish I had something to defend myself. But the government took that right away. The government took that right away. Why? Because the fact is, they just took away a right for you to protect yourself against anybody. You are a victim to anybody who sees fit to actually have a weapon illegally, and you just have to give up. I'm tired of these freaking weapons in this conversation. Why don't you stop talking about banning weapons and talk about how we can use existing laws and how we can actually be better prepared for these incidents? Because in every case scenario, every damn shooting that you can go back to, even through Columbine, every one of those people were suspicious. Every one of those people had something that was wrong with them and just told you that they ain't right. I don't know if some bitch colors their hair orange, I'm gonna ask why. We live in a different world. Today we're required to be more vigilant because there's individuals out there. We're not going to get any more money for mental health treatment. We're not going to get things that we actually need. We're just going to ban guns. Okay, ban guns. I'm going to use a freaking bomb. Oh, guess what? Shit, now they use cars. You going to ban cars too? The problem is not we don't have a gun problem in this world. What we have is a people problem. These two guns, since I've been sitting there talking to you for 32 minutes, not one of them went off. Not one of them made up their mind. I don't want to shoot this. Somebody's going to said something I didn't like. Not one of them have done that. It takes me to operate. So the common denominator is what do all these mass shootings have together? All different weapons were used. What was the common denominator that we have that actually we can build on? The people were fucking crazy. Sometime in their life, they were identified to some people, and people chose to ignore it. We were apathetic and we were lazy, and we didn't do something to stop it. Now that is where it's at. We shouldn't have to worry about going anywhere with a mass shooting because we need to be able to think that, you know what, people who need help are actually going to get it. But no. Hey, the ones that do go, guess what? They get some pills thrown at them, so they don't even know who the hell they are. How do we know those pills ain't going to make them go up? How many pills that you got? Well, it may cause suicidal actions. It may cause anal leakage. And we're going to take that some bitch. Basically, I'm taking pills so I can shit my ass. Figure that shit out. But I'll say it, and this is the last thing I'll say, is the fact is that we don't have a gun problem here. We have a people problem. We have individuals who are just freaking dead set. And somewhere up their upbringing or somewhere in their freaking brain house group, and I believe it's all cultural because it comes from their community. I believe because the fact is that they're all common denominators. They're all button back shit crazy. So, Mr. Hogg, let me just refrain to this. I know you'll probably never listen to this video or whatever. I think you're full of shit. Because if you want to stand up and you want to point to right and you want to actually proclaim that you were there, you're a victim of the Parkland shooting, you had to freaking be there. I need people who are actually there. I want to talk to the parents. I want to talk to the other victims. I want to talk to people who are actually around so we can come up with some answers. Instead of somebody who was 3 miles away had to pedal with his camera to go see what was going on. He does not know what's going on. He did not know. He has no idea what happened inside that school. He wasn't there. And then the other little girl I have there or whatever, I'm not mad because she's lesbian. I'm mad because the fact that she wear a Cuban and then say it doesn't represent communism. We don't have a gun problem, people. We don't. We have a people problem. And guess what? I hate to be the one to tell you, only people can stop it. But that means we'd have to get up out of our damn chair, wouldn't it? Actually do something. Well, put it this way. If you're around me, around people of my kind, you can bet your ass somebody want to do some evil doing to you, want to rape you, want to pull a gun out on you, want to do something. Guess what? They're gonna have to deal with like 15 or 20 because we do the right thing. Not on this day are you gonna kill this person. Not on this day. But then again, if we do that, we'll get arrested. Get your priorities straight, people. Think about what you're saying. Stop leading with your emotions, lead with your head. Damn emotion don't solve shit. Thinking is what solves the problem. Start talking to people. Start talking to people like you freaking know them, or start talking to them and let them know how you feel. Because I guarantee you, there was at least the majority of those individuals who got shot and killed. I can guarantee you the majority of them said to themselves, I wish I had a weapon. Move back. Oh.